Does your reputation with other people really matter? So Jesus, wake up. I mean, if this describes you at all, just be alert, be vigilant, wake up. The next thing he says is, remember what you have received and heard. It's like, just try and bring to mind all those teachings that you have of Christianity. I mean, week after week, you're coming here, and I'm doing my best just trying to tell you what's here in the Bible, what Jesus has to say. Remember all those things, but don't just remember it. The next, obey it and repent. Like, it's not enough, I mean, just to come here and go through the motions week after week and kind of hear what it is that Jesus wants from you if you don't have any intention of obeying it and changing course. Like, what good does that do? I mean, yeah, other people, they see you, you're here, it looks like you're a good Christian person, but if when Jesus evaluates his relationship with you, it's nothing, then why bother? It's like, wake up. Remember all the things that Jesus has taught to you. Obey it and repent. It's like, change your course. You know, you hear these words, wake up. I think if you know just a little bit about the history of the city of Sardis, it's like these words take on just a little bit more deeper meaning. So I want to go just a little deeper by telling you about the history of the city. I'll put up here a picture on the screen. This is a picture of where Sardis was located. There was a lower city and an upper city. And the upper city was on this big acropolis, this mountainside. And this upper city, actually, where it was located, there was cliffs all around it except for one main way up. And so it was thought at that time, Sardis was like the city that was the most unconquerable city. In fact, at that time, as you read history, like conquering Sardis was thought to be doing the impossible. Like for us, what is some great human feat? Like maybe going to the moon. Like that's the impossible thing to do. Like to set foot on the moon. In ancient history, like capturing Sardis up on this huge acropolis with all its cliffs was like the impossible thing to do. And actually, Sardis fell just one time. And there was this man, his name was Croesus. He was king from about 560 to 547 BC. And he was actually at the time one of the richest men who ever lived. In fact, even in our modern language today, like in poetry, you will find mention of this guy Croesus, where people will talk about how such and such a person is richer than Croesus. And because of his great wealth, he actually became very proud and arrogant. And he wanted in his lifetime to expand his wealth, to become even richer and greater, and try and conquer as many lands as he could. And in history, in especially Greek history, it's very, very famous. He actually wanted to go and capture Persia at the time. And famously, he went to the city of Delphi, where apparently this prophetess lived, and consulted with her. And what she said to him actually became like a famous quote in Greek philosophy. She told Croesus, if you cross the river Halys, you will destroy a great empire. To cross the river Halys was to go into Persia. And he took that to mean, if I go there, I'll win. But this became one of these like ironic statements because the empire that was destroyed was his own. And so this became like for Greek philosophers one of these great statements that if you cross the river Halys, you'll destroy a great empire because actually the empire he destroyed wound up being his own. Well, at any rate, here's how the story goes. He wanted to capture Persia, so he went to Persia and fought against King Cyrus. King Cyrus, we actually read about in the Bible. He's the one who gave the decree that the Jews could go back into the land after they'd been exiled. Anyway, he went there to go fight against Cyrus and lost the battle and retreated back to his Acropolis. And he got up there and he thought, well, now I'm totally safe. But Cyrus surprisingly pursued him. And when he got up there, he thought, well, there's no way this army is going to do anything to us. And history says that he became very complacent. So complacent that he didn't bother to post any guards on any of the other sides of this Acropolis. And I don't know if you remember this, Herodotus, who's like the father of modern history, he actually wrote about what happened in this war. He says, a Persian soldier managed to scale the cliff of the Acropolis where there was no guard stationed, for there was no fear that it would ever be captured at that place, for the Acropolis is sheer and impregnable there. And so here, if you lived in Sardis, if you grew up there, if you went to school there, The history of your city, like the most famous event, was that there was this arrogant man, Croesus, who was very rich, who became so complacent that he didn't bother to post any guard. And while he was just in his complacency and malaise, Cyrus defeated him. So you grow up there and you hear this message, like, what's the moral of the story? Be vigilant, stay awake, don't become complacent. Like, if you live in Sardis, you've heard this message over and over and over again. And this is what's so great. Jesus has the same message when it comes to your spiritual life. Wake up. Like, how can you be so complacent in your faith? Wake up. Strengthen what remains. Remember what you've heard. And don't just bring it to mind, but obey it and change your ways. To me, this is such a powerful message for us today. And I think probably if there's one of these letters where the words almost speak right to our culture, it's this one. I mean, we are such a culture of image, aren't we? Like, image is everything with us. And Jesus says, listen, your reputation, that's not what matters. It's how God evaluates. And if this word that you have a reputation for being alive, but you're dead, strikes any place in your heart, then this message to wake up. Man, I hope that you just hear and listen to this message. I came across this video that I want to play for you. I'll tell you about it before I play it. The person in the video is an atheist. They're not a Christian. So I want to start with that. And he's talking about what it would mean to be a Christian. And as I listened to this video, I thought to myself, although this person is not a Christian, they have not devoted their life to Jesus Christ, there's a way in which I think he really understands what it means to be a Christian, maybe better than we do. And so I want to play this video.